Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from Orchard Lake Country Club in Detroit, Michigan, bringing you bonus coverage of men's round of 16 action here. And I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel. Mark, welcome. This is a great match. We have a third set battle here between Rams and Wagner against Palmer and Chervinsky. And you believe the score is 3-1, you think?
I think Chervinsky-Palmer up 3-1, and we should note that Chervinsky-Palmer played the Dwayne Hayden Long Island Invitational last week, made the semis before losing to Hughes Powers after being up a double break in the third. So they're playing some really good paddle, which should surprise absolutely no one.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's amazing, and it's great to see, three-time champion, APTA champion Jared Palmer back out here doing battle again after just, sparingly playing for a couple of years.
Jared clearly has some connections with the Fountain of Youth because he's playing like a 35-year-old.
I mean, he's playing amazing out there, and Chervinsky's getting his cutters going. And right now, I think they got Rams and Wagner on the ropes.
Yeah, I think that's 4-1 in the third. Palmer's one of the great players, in my opinion, who's ever played the game. Just a brilliant volleyer, very patient. Lobs well, big forehand, and blitzes. I mean, he's not great at changing sides, but the rest of his game is pretty complete, I would say.
No, he's amazing. And it goes a little deeper. There are a lot of guys who are great volleyers, but it's his wingspan that makes him so even better because he can cover so much ground. He's able to blitz. He brings a big forehand, and he tends to make a lot of good choices. And as a two-time Grand Slam and doubles champion in tennis, he's, not afraid of any pressure situations.
This is Philippe Rams serving. His partner Mike Wagner's the net, and that's Jared Palmer returning.
And we'll note quickly, this is bonus coverage here. So as soon as this match is over, there'll be a little brief break, and we're going to be right back on with women's quarterfinal match.
And Palmer loves to hit that kind of soft backhand. He just kind of pushes it at you. Sometimes with different, a little harder than others, and it's a very effective shot.
And he does it with great disguise. He holds the paddle about the same place, and he kind of pushes it sharp and low, and then one time he'll feather underneath it to hit a lob. He's excellent at that. And when he pushes it low, the threat of the blitz is very real.
You see Rams and Wagner, with Rams hitting all the overheads. As soon as Wagner hits an overhead, that kind of opens the court up.
What a move.
Big hit from Palmer. Looks like he caught Rams there.
Yeah, it was off screen, but I think he tagged him because there's no reason he couldn't have let it go off screen and played it.
They're rolling right now. Haven't been too many points won by Rams and Wagner since we've been watching.
Yeah, I think Rams Wagner won the first set, and then just kind of midway through that second set, Palmer and Chervinsky just started taking charge.
The other thing you can see Chervinsky's doing a great job of is he's lobbing down the line and pushing Wagner back and really opening the court up. I had the forehand there, but that's another good example of it. Beautiful Orchard Lake Country Club, right on Orchard Lake.
Right on a beautiful Orchard Lake. And it was fun. You see the snow in the background. We had like a great squall around, 10 o'clock last night. It was beautiful.
Brad and I walked out from dinner, and it looked like something from Wonderland. There was snow everywhere, like a little globe. Here the umpire in the background, calling out scores from the Delmonico-Gebbia match. We're streaming that on our other channel if you're interested.
A great shot. He catches him a little off the net and a little unaware. Great little sneaky drive.
Chervinsky had one of the biggest forehands in the game. Made quarters nationals several times and actually had match points in Philly when Roderick Palmer were going for the third consecutive national championship. He and Chris Gambino had a couple of match point opportunities. I always see them on the same side of the court. Mike Wagner's so good off those wires. That's a good, smart transition from Palmer Travinsky. Didn't want to expose themselves. They are really pushing them around at the net, their lobs. Just a great ball there from Palmer. Bradford, last time we saw Philippe Rams, he was winning Philly with Martin Bostrom.
I mean, they looked like a really tough team, Boston and Rams there. But it's been Rams and Wagner for about 3 years now, and they have a good balance of skill sets. You know, the two issues right now is they're finding very hard to hurt Travinsky and Palmer, and they're, like you said, Mark, doing such a great lob, controlling their lobs. Look at that. That's going to be tattooed.
A smart ball by Travinsky, goes behind Rams, and he gets beaten in transition. That is textbook, Brad.
It is textbook, and Rams hangs up there a little because he's confident in the Wagner drive, but he doesn't get the drive down, and then Palmer's there, and he just slaps it right at him, just tags him.
Winner of this match has got Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell in the quarters. So this may not be the last time we see this team.
Yeah, if Palmer Travinsky can turn this out, that'll be a great quarterfinal matchup. It's the tough half of the draw. You know, I have to figure Rams and Wagner might be the fifth-seeded team here.
I think fourth.
No, they're not seeded.
Oh, you're right.
You're
Right. Fifth. They're fifth. They're not top four.
Right. So they were in a tough spot here, and this is of the round of 16 matchups here. Getting Palmer Travinsky's not a pleasant draw.
They could not have been happy when they saw the draw.
Right. You know, so they unfortunately have some work to do here.
Here you see Wagner in the ad court hitting the overheads. It's such a good combination. You see Palmer blitzing behind that. Even if Wagner makes that volley, they're in trouble.
And that's 100% why he missed it. He saw Palmer coming, and he tried to hit this perfect little touch volley, and he netted it.
I think that's 5 games on the trot for Travinsky Palmer.
They're going to have to tighten up right here.
You have to tighten up right here or get ready for the 16 back draw. Last year we saw, big forehand there. Last year we saw Rams Wagner with a big win over Frazier Morgan in like a 3.5-hour epic before losing to Parsons Arroyo, and they were completely spent in the semis. Different schedule this year with the men's semis will be played on Sunday morning. Last year was only the finals on Sunday.
Palmer Travinsky look in sync.
They look terrific.
You know, they got different parts of the country. They clearly don't have a lot of opportunities to practice together. They played last, like you said, a week ago in the Dwayne Hayden Long Island Invitational, and they look like they're just perfect combination.
I'm seeing Rams Wagner with just complete inability to hurt them right now.
Pulls the trigger on a ball that is coming out, but
again, there's so much pressure put on you by a team like Travinsky Palmer who volleys so well. So you're trying to hit the ball a little bit harder, a little bit lower, and you make mistakes. I think that's 30 all, 5-1, 30 all is our guess.
I think that's it, Mark.
The interesting things to me about Travinsky Palmer is neither of them play kind of textbook position paddle, but I mean, there you see that forehand volley from Travinsky, but they both volley so well. Palmer might be the best volleyer who's ever played the game.
And he's certainly one of them.
Whatever the list is, his name is on it.
Yep.
Remember Bum Phillips used to talk about Earl Campbell. He said, I don't know if he's in a class by himself, but the roll call is awfully short. And that's true of Jared Palmer. Again, look where they're pushing Rams.
They're just lobbing so well. Every single overhead. And when Wagner goes back, he's not one of these guys who actually gets behind the ball. He hits it and he's moving back behind it and usually retreats back to the baseline. So there's a lot of opportunities for the transition in. But the problem is when we see him at the net right now, they're just not hurting him at all. And Palmer and Chervinsky are lobbing so well. I mean, that wasn't so good, but they just don't have any pressure balls right now.
Just asking lots of questions.
Ooh, spotted drive there. That's a good ball. He got him way back in the court. It was high. Palmer takes a cut, but it's a tough position. I think they want to start hitting some rollers long and deep and right at that first post into Palmer's corner. Good rip there from Wagner.
Wagner, I think that's 2-5 now. Fault there from Palmer, who rarely faults. He got one of the best serves in the game, serving 5-1, 30-15.
Yep, that kind of opened the door, and then we just had the missed drive, and then a huge return there from Wagner.
It's a fun matchup.
I mean, this is a terrific match. I mean, in terms of round of 16, I kind of wish we had gone back and streamed this one. I mean,
Yeah,
this is definitely one that would have been great to see from the beginning and see the ebb and flow.
Philippe Rams is just such a dynamic player. He's always fun to watch. And the way they play the game, one up, one back, really is a fun style, the style that kind of Araya and Parsons kind of made famous. Okay, Mike Wagner to serve, 2-5.
That's just a huge drive. He catches Rams off the net. And this is sort of called the Achilles heel, but this is the tough spot. The Wagner serve, he puts it in soft and slow, and Rams can poach and move, but it's not easy for them to take the net very often on the Wagner serve. So they have to
What about his serve do you think makes it so ineffective, Bradford?
I mean, the honest truth, I've never actually seen him go for a serve. He's never developed kind of a serve that's challenging. He used to just push it in the box last year overhand, but soft, and then would just stay back. Now he's trying the roller, and he's coming behind it. To me, it's a little better version, but it's not that type of roller that's accelerating and staying that low, so people are still teeing it up a little. I think it's for Rams and Wagner. They're an excellent team. It's an area they need to work on a little bit. Oof.
That takes us to triple match point. And there you saw the difference between the two teams, where Chervinsky Palmer are constantly pushing Rams Wagner out at the net. You didn't see that on the opposite side at all there. Chervinsky Palmer in complete control at that point.
This is going to be a tough dig. He doesn't get it.
There it is. Game, set, and match. Chervinsky Palmer, and they earned themselves a spot in the quarterfinals opposite Durant Mitchell.
That's going to be one heck of a quarter. So that was some terrific bonus coverage of men's round of 16 action here. And we're going to be back in about probably 10-15 minutes for a women's quarterfinal match. So everybody tune in then. Mark, we'll be right back in a moment.
Always a pleasure, Bradford.
There you have it, your APTA national champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up, and he's right there. Hello and welcome to the APTA Tour. We are live from the Orchard Lake Country Club
Ladies
in
and
Detroit,
gentlemen, this
Michigan.
quarterfinal match is best of 3 sets with tie breaks. To my right in the ad court
the
from
umpire go in
Sewickley,
here.
Pennsylvania, Jessica Gio. Her partner in the deuce court from Unionville, Pennsylvania, Jacqueline Williamson. To my left in the ad court from Wilton, Connecticut, Amy Shea, and her partner in the deuce court from Darien, Connecticut, Jolene Sutter. Shea Sutter won the toss and have elected to receive.
All right, so, well, we are live. We are just about to start the match here between women's quarterfinal action for our number 3 seeds of Shea and Sutter against Gio and Williamson, the unseeded team, but a strong team nonetheless. These teams have played each other a bunch of times. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fischel. And Mark, we got a bunch of great sponsors here. And this tournament is sponsored by and presented by Remedy Plus, sponsored by the APTA membership. APTA national sponsors Paddle Pro Infusion, and local sponsors Bell Tire, DIAG, Detroit Platform Tennis Association, Asset Health, Jack McNaughton, Stretch Lab, Lux Homes, Dobie Real Estate, Marissa Thomas, Gen Oil, Crest Automotive, Howard & Howard, Hudson Avenue, Hardy Cosgrove Luxury Real Estate, Thursday Night OLCC Guys, and Capsiva. And once again, I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mark Fisher, bringing you this women's quarterfinal action. Mark, welcome.
Yeah, Bradford, these teams have played a number of times, most notably at the 2020 Nationals in New Jersey. 7-6 in the third victory for, I think, Gio Williamson. They played here last year. They're very closely matched. When do we introduce the players? At the top of the screen on the right is Jessica Gio in the red hat, and her partner Jessica's from Pittsburgh, and her partner Jacqueline Williamson from the Philadelphia area in the white sweater. And then on the far side of the court is Amy Shea in the backhand side. There's Amy hitting a forehand, and her partner, the lefty, Jolene Sutter. So they're fun to watch. Jolene and Amy made the finals here last year before losing to Hana Sabori, which a lot of teams lost to last year. So it should be a fun match, good matchup in the quarters.
And like you said, this team has there's a lot of, Gio is very disciplined. She'll lob a ton of balls and take spot forehands. Williamson's got a really good backhand. Shea and Sutter probably have a touch more offense, but Gio and Williamson will stay generally disciplined and make you beat them, grind it out.
Which is also true of Shea and Sutter. They're both very disciplined teams. Neither of them brings a ton of offense. I mean, Amy Shea is just an absolute marvel. We talked off air about just how amazing it is she's playing the game at this level at our age.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And, and she's got great overheads and great serves. She still brings a ton of offense. Not quite as much as she used to, I think, in the past. But, it'll be interesting. I think it's just going to hang on to execution for these guys because it's always a tight battle between them.
Yeah, there's so little that separates them. Gio is very dynamic. She likes to blitz. She's got great speed around the court. She really changed her forehand, went to a Western forehand, and really improved it a lot. So it's fun to watch.
Yep, I think the players are getting ready. Our umpire in the chair is Dave Woodruff. So action's going to be underway here momentarily.
I didn't want to end up on the floor.
Poor throw there by Jess Gio.
Like I said, it's going to come down to execution, Mark.
She didn't execute there.
She didn't execute there. I tell you, it's a perfect day to play paddle out here. It's overcast. It's not like one of these beautiful sunny days, but as a paddle player, you love that. You don't have to deal with the elements. It's about 35 degrees out, so it's a bit of a nip in the air, but it's perfect for playing.
And no wind at all. I mean, it really is a perfect paddle day. You're absolutely right.
So even though it's kind of darker out there, it's ideal for the players. Now, on a lot in the women's side, you're seeing a lot more players use the rollers, attacking. These guys pretty much just, for the most part, hit standard overheads. Shea will let the ball drop a lot. Sutter, you'll see he'll break it out some. But like we say, it's the commitment to a style of play where they're going to wait and choose the right kind of shot. Amy Shea hits sky-high lobs at various times, puts that ball well up into the air. And we saw, huge steps from Sutter, I think, last year, Mark. Going from playing with, there's no two ways about it. Amy Shea's a legend, right?
Yeah,
She picked up and playing with a legend like that is no easy task, and she made large strides last year.
Sutter's got an excellent forehand. She'll drive the backhand. And we should mention the winner of this match plays the winner of the Hunter Sabori Crane Herschel match in the semis, and that'll be at 5:30 tonight. I'll be streaming one of those matches while Brad's having dinner.
Absolutely. I'll be thinking of you while you're streaming that match.
I would expect nothing less.
There you go.
There you see the draw on the screen. The Delmonico Gebbia Kiro Medeiros match is just a terrific matchup.
And that's on our other live streaming channel.
For those of you who don't know, Medeiros is Macy Elliott, former national champion in 2020. She's playing with Lynn Kiro, who's one of the best young players in the game.
Yep, recently married, actually, Macy Elliott, and now Medeiros. And I watched those guys last week in the Dwayne Hayden Invitational, and it's just a lot of firepower out there between Kiro and Medeiros. They actually played Williamson and Nugent in the round of 16.
Players ready?
I think she hit her a couple of times, Kiro. She just fired.
Looked like a sneak peek. They're up a set early.
Yeah, that is a tough team. And another one of these tough draws. It's an unseeded team, but you'd have to think of them as just a team that will be seeded in the next 2 or 3. If they have a good result here.
15 love.
There's an early miss from Amy Shea. We got Jacqueline Williamson serving to Amy Shea.
Now, Williamson will hit it off both wings. Her backhand's the stronger side.
Yeah, no question her backhand is a better shot. She's very talented. She had a tendency to get a little tight in the big moments.
That's well said, Mark.
30 love.
That's just a heck of a spot.
30-15. All.
Big return there from Shea. Takes us to deuce in the first game. Great blitz from Shea. Teams have gotten so good, Bradford, at not getting hit, not losing those exchanges, just bailing and living to fight.
Yeah, I mean, so many years ago, it was really, you had 3 parts of the game. You had sort of net court play, backcourt play, and then the serve, return of serve, and first volley game. And now, clearly, transition is a huge part of the game. And if you want to be a top team, you have to master transition play.
Jessica was dealing with a knee injury. She had some meniscus damage to her knee. A bunch of rehab. This is her first tournament back.
Yeah, it's great to see her back. I mean, she's legendarily probably was on the, treadmill for a good 3 hours this morning
30,
at 5
40.
a.m. and then came out to play some paddle. So, she spends her time in the gym, staying fit. But as we all age, it's not easy to fight off all the injuries. Oh, just Shea just pinpointing some balls. They're going to have to get up and over on that line.
Game.
Amy Shea doesn't hit with a lot
Williamson,
of
they lead
spin,
1 game to love.
but she
First
spots
set.
her balls extremely well. And you see her 3 times now has caught a little bit of Gilroy Williamson slightly off that line. That was a great break there.
Sorry. Correction, Shea Sutter up 1-0 first set. They'll just get mad at me in the truck.
Umpire Dave Woodruff chiming in there.
Okay, so it looks like Jolene Sutter to serve. Do you think it matters, Bradford, for one of these teams or another to get off to a good start, or it's just going to be a war?
I think it's a war. I mean, as much as Gio and Williamson are in there, I'd say slight difference, slight offense edge here. I think the biggest issue is going to be a lot on this returning edge. You know, that was a great return there from Williamson.
Now, interestingly, Jolene Sutter is one of the only left-handers at the top of the women's game, which is just kind of bizarre.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess I'd have to consider more of an anomaly than anything else. I'm trying to even remember the last left-handers there were, even like 10, 15 years ago, Mark.
I mean, Jill Fair comes to mind, but
yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I think it's a huge advantage to be left-handed in the game.
I mean, I've played with a bunch of left-handed partners. It gives you the ability to attack both screens, switch in the backcourt a little more.
So much more versatility.
Yeah.
And the guys' game's got a ton of lefties up top.
They got a great shot there. Now, Sutter will, good use of the drop. Sutter will be a little bit handsy forehand, backhand volley. She doesn't come in with that traditional backhand volley all the time. She's got good hands, but she can get caught if you find her off the right or left hip because she switches the hands a bit.
They also sometimes don't switch at the net, which has always been kind of bizarre to me, where you'll see, you know, the lefty-righty combination with the overheads on the outside. See if they do that today.
That's a really aggressive net position there from, that's why from Shea. She's trying to cut off that first volley. She doesn't want to go in there now, Sutter. So I think it's a smart play early on. Say, you know what, let's commit to putting the ball in play and playing some good points here. But as you said, this is going to be a grind, I think. That's a great, great lob there from Shea. And Williamson clearly thought that Gio was taking that. I have to be honest, I thought Gio would have handled that one too, but they had miscommunication. Point there for Shea Sutter.
Both these teams have played together for a good solid 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't expect to see too much of that. Wild forehand there from Gio.
Yeah, she's got to get on top of that one. Come over it a little bit.
For those of you at home, Bradford is demonstrating
I'm doing a demo
how to get on top of that one.
You guys all see that?
Jacqueline Williamson's favorite shot, that backhand. She misses it there. Shea Sutter off to a good start.
Great start. They're executing well. And just a couple loose points. You know, Gio Williamson, they have a miscommunication on a basic lob right through there. A wild forehand, so they'll get it together. They'll find their rhythm. Because there are times for Gio Williamson where this happens, but then they find that spot where they get into this grind mode and they literally just don't miss. They force you to win the points. That's what makes them a tough team.
Okay, it's 2-love.
Yep, it's 2-0 for Shea and Sutter.
Long way to travel to kind of hit that backhand there from Jolene Sutter. That's what you're looking for when you're at the net. You want to force your opponent to drive the ball just on your terms, not on theirs.
What are your terms for driving, Mark?
40-love.
What terms do you have?
Anything I can get my
Anything
paddle
you can
on.
get your
I'm swinging at Bradford.
There you go.
I know how much you like playing those long matches.
Oh, back when I was competing, I didn't mind. I was definitely doing whatever it took to win.
Game, Gio Williamson.
Fast game
Sutter
there.
leads
3
2
errors
games
from
to
Jolene
1,
Sutter.
first set.
Good to get on the board.
So 2-1, Shea Sutter, first set. I tell you, Bradford, I'm very impressed with all these clubs here in the, say, the Detroit area, but northern Detroit, the northern suburbs, just beautiful area, gorgeous clubs. We were at Oakland Hills this morning. Got a great setup there.
Yeah, some terrific spots out here and terrific folks. And like a lot of the tournaments that we go to, Mark, this one has, you know, a lot of great local flavor and some really good local teams playing.
Some legendary local teams, Bradford.
Legendary local teams are definitely playing here.
I saw one of them, Cosgrove and Parks, lost in 3 sets today.
Took first set off of Hagman and Murphy. Yeah, the legend actually does grow a bit. I've heard these legends of Cosgrove actually being so good that he plays with the plastic still on the handle of his paddle.
That's remarkable.
And then, you know, at a certain time, he realized he takes it off when he really wants to go into the second gear.
He gets a handicap he's giving to his opponents?
I think he's giving himself a handicap. And then he, you know, it's sort of like, now I'm going to fight you right-handed versus left-handed, you know.
One hand tied behind my back.
One hand tied behind me, exactly, right along those lines. So, once again, Cosgrove Park's given a tough team. Hagman Murphy, tough team, seasoned team.
That's I think that's the club champions for the last 12 years at the Birmingham Athletic Club. At least that's what Mirta Molenveld, the pro, told us. I'm not sure if we should believe her.
You know, Mark, I still haven't actually met. I feel like I could call him Kaz at this point, but I haven't met him yet.
So where's the offense coming from the team in the backcourt? There's always the question. Good ball there from Jacqueline Williamson. Don't take the net.
Yeah, it's nice hands there from Shea. A little cavalier on that one over. She tried to sneak it around Williamson, but Williamson was right there, tattooed it. Right at the crease. Good ball. That's the one right there. I love seeing that. Open up the corners, go for that. You know, and I talk about it all the time with a lot of my students. That's what you're looking to try and do. Move your opponent out of position, but also expose the corner and then take that shot right in there.
Okay, it's 40 love, Shea Sutter. And that's also, Brad, we talked earlier about the advantage of having a lefty.
Yep.
You can play both sides. You can move the overheads around. There's righties, it's a little bit more restrictive.
That's the danger ball. That's good movement there from Williamson, but really solid volleying. Shane Sutter. She's gonna be looking and prowling around in that middle for that backhand. That is the #1 offense on the court for Gia Williamson, and she strikes there. So Shea got baited in twice in that point, pushing down the middle with Gia Williamson. She's gonna have to push that overhead behind her, long and deep, a few times out here today to keep her honest.
I mean, Jessica Williamson plays like a left-hander.
Yes.
You can see where she's standing for a turn of serve. That's where a lefty would stand. She just much prefers her backhand to her forehand. There's a mistake from Guillot, and it's 3-1 Shea Sutter.
3 games to 1, first set.
Good solid start, but I like the way Williamson was looking for that backhand in the middle there. Something to keep watch on later on in the match.
Great deep lob there.
I thought we might see a blitz there.
Brad, what was your strategy when you played against the team? Did you change things up if you played against a team that you had several, long matches against?
You know, it really depended on what I thought the edge was. You know, a lot of times, back in the day, you know, there were a lot more long matches actually played, and if you feel like you have the edge in it, you're willing to make the mental commitment to doing it, right? But there are certain matches where you need to find a spot on the court that you need to be able to hammer away, where you're giving them the least favorable offensive opportunities. And if you can do that, you found a soft spot. Now here, you know, the spot's going to be actually tricky. I think it's going to be, you're going to have to watch Williamson in the middle. They're going to have to push some overheads back into the side. And then you can go soft and deep to the Gio forehand. It's not going to hurt you that much.
15 all.
But the issue is she'll just keep grinding. You know, and she does actually better if you hit it hard and speed her up a little bit. She ends up with a little more offense.
Yeah, that first point, Jacqueline Williamson should have bailed, kind of hung in there a little bit, and ended up getting beaten by the Sutter backhand.
Oh, I think that was good. I don't know.
30-15.
Yep.
15, yeah.
I don't know if I'd apply the word good to that shot, Bradford.
It was in for a winner.
Yes, it was in for a winner. There's nothing good about that
Mark,
shot.
Which is good.
We've fallen down, mishit.
30 all.
They were up 30-love the first game that Williamson served and lost. Here it goes from 30-15 to 30 all. So that's starting to get away from them. They need this game. There's the blitz from Shea. But there Shea does a good job of getting out of danger and putting the ball back in play. Oh, that's Jolene Sutter's bread and butter, that
40,
forehand
30.
there. Once that one back. Oh, misses the blitz.
Ooh. And that was a tough low volley there. I mean,
Game, Gio, Williamson. Shea, Sutter lead 3-2 in the first set.
Okay, Bradford. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro is recognized as an industry leader in platform tennis. The knowledge, expert advice, vast inventory, and ultimate customer service will help any player find the perfect equipment to take their game to the next level. Paddle Pro is the only website to carry all platform tennis brands. For more information, go to www.paddlepro.com. So what have you seen so far, Bradford, here?
I mean, what I've seen so far is they're still just kind of filling each other out. A little bit of execution. Gio Williamsons are going to tighten up their positioning a little bit, find their range on the offense. Williamson's starting to do that. Jacqueline Williamson's starting to move to that center well when a good lob's coming. And but it's kind of on par for me. I mean, if I had to stay beforehand, I know, you know, Gio Williamson won the last time they played. I'm going to give a slight edge to Shea and Sutter in this one, but it's kind of unfolding with both teams feeling out. Do you think one team should be doing something more or less?
Well, actually, I was asking you about the France-England soccer game.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
thoughts were on that.
Sorry, I totally.
But I thought that was a great analysis of this match.
There you go.
I think Shea and Sutter have more weapons.
Yes.
That's the backhand Gio really likes to drive, that side back ball.
Yeah, the one off the screen, if the ball gets sped up, you can actually dump it to her pretty softly, and she's not that threatening. Oh, it's a good look to cut that off. But she just
Boy, had her just dead to
15.
rights.
Yeah,
Missed the volley by 2 feet.
Yep, just hit it wide. I don't think she was trying to go around her. I think she just missed her spot.
You just have two teams that don't have a plethora of weapons, that both play very solidly, and that obviously leads to some long battles. What did you have as the over-under for this match? I got 2 hours, 45 minutes. What do you want, over-under?
I'm going under. I think we're going to actually
You're an optimist.
I am an optimist. I'm going to go definitely glass half full. It's a good shot at the crease again. I like the way they're moving those overheads. She's got to get out of the way there.
See Jolene Sutter really going after that nick.
I like it. Keep hitting it. There it is. Perfect. She gets another one. And it was aptly timed there.
15-all.
Well called there, Mark. And a great shot there from Sutter. And she's hitting that low slap, letting it drop. Slight roll to it. And Williamson's going to have to start cutting it off. And I actually, overall, this is what Gio and Williamson need to do. They need to lob that ball a little bit deeper. They have 6 lobs in a row there that Shan Sutter hit from inside the service box.
(30-15).
See that bailout spot? They're putting a lot of balls into Jacqueline Williamson's corner. I think they're much better off just that softball down the middle you were talking about. Down the middle, more to the Gio forehand than the Williamson backhand, obviously. There we go. That's the ball.
That's the ball. They want that long, deep one when they go in there to Williamson. Yes, Shea is really starting to move that forehand around, that overhead around, keeping it out of Williamson's lift. But nice slippery drive there from Gio. Completely flummoxed Sutter.
Slippery drive and flummoxed Sutter.
Yep, I'm getting in early, Mark. Got my thesaurus out.
Wordsmith and Bradford. Big return there from
30-40.
Williamson. Take a point for 3-all. Looks like down go Delmonico Gebbia pretty fast.
I mean, we just heard that on the side of our viewpoint there. Kira and Medeiros, game, set, and match. So they just, I mean, that's, what, a half hour?
Yeah, a little more than that.
45 minutes, but that's a tough, tough team. You know, as we said, you know, Delmonico Gebbia is seeded 4th here. In my estimation, Kira Medeiros would be one of the top seeds here, but they just have to get another tournament under their belt here. With a good result here, they will be probably at the next tournament, having just won the Dwayne Hayden Long Island Invitational.
And the second tough result in a row for Delmonico Gebbia.
Yeah, they lost to Cooper Petrini in the semifinals. Oh, just missed it wide.
Deuce.
Well, those are the misses that really come back to haunt you. Just got to play those game points solidly.
I mean, there was an opening there. She just tried to make it too good around her. You want to force your opponent to make the error, not try to hit the winner. And it's something we say all the time, you know, and the honest truth is I say it to myself too. It's
don't go around them, you go through them.
Right. You gotta force them to do it, and then you find yourself getting caught up doing the same thing. But you're right. It's who plays those big points better. It makes all the difference in the world in the success of the match.
So 2 consecutive errors there from Gil Williamson, and after a point for 3-all, we now have a point for 4-2. And that's what wins and loses paddle matches.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, you know, we all know through the analytics of a match, you know, any match is 7-5 or 6-4. It's really decided by about 5 points, 4 or 5 points.
Back to deuce. Good return there. I'm going to try and get you some scores of some of the other matches that are going on out there. And by we, I mean somebody other than Brad or I.
There you go. Yeah, we are down here watching this match. Mark, you got any intel as to whether, like, Kiro and Medeiros will be a team for the year?
Gio.
I don't. I mean, I think that Kiro is looking as to whether Medeiros goes back to play with Marcelo Redesno. What remains to be seen.
It's a team with a lot of firepower. Karen Medeiros. It's a different matchup. Like, these are teams that are grinding and going to play with precision
Game, Gio,
and
Williamson.
focus.
Games are 3-all.
And that
in
was
the
a great
first set.
drive.
Well, Macy Elliott's one of the Macy Medeiros. Got to get used to that. One of the most dynamic athletes in the women's game. Although right now, there's certainly, you can make an argument. There's one, maybe two teams in the women's tournament that can win nationals. I mean, Hanish and Zabori are just so far and away above everybody else, it seems, right now. Gabby Nicolescu and Roxy Anika, you think would be the second best team with a chance to win. Great dig there from Sutter. But I'm not sure anybody else is really in the mix with those two teams right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. We'll have to see how the season unfolds. I would think if certain teams step up to the plate, there are some teams out there with some real offense out there. There are some players that we expected to see a little bit more of. Some players are, pregnant, taking some time off.
Elisabetta Leilich, who was just a tremendous young talent.
Expected to see her out there and possibly even have seen Kiro with Leilich.
Yeah.
And, that's how the seasons go.
Actually thought in a strange way it was good for Hannah Sabori to lose at Montclair.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. It's much, much better to have that monkey off your back. You can't just keep, win every single tournament, and it fires you up a little bit better, and it makes you realize there are still some things you got to do.
Because just to remind our viewers, this is Jessica Guillot serving. Her partner Jacqueline Williamson is at the net. And that's Jolene Sutter, the left-hander, and Amy Shea, the righty, in the backcourt. Yeah, I think it's great for them. I don't think they got to worry about another undefeated season and the pressure of a long streak. Just kind of refocus, and they played great in Philly after that loss at Montclair.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just start another streak here, Mark.
15,
I mean,
30.
clearly, anybody who's a betting man is going to not put their money in very few other places.
No other places at this point.
That was him.
It'll be interesting to see how Anika Nicolescu play together in their first full season. They picked up last year about halfway through the year and made finals and nationals and played Hannah Sabori a three-setter.
Yeah, what I'd love to see for them is sort of a commitment to multiple styles. They are great, and clearly in the conversation as to one of the top teams who could win it. But they sometimes bully teams, right? And when they're not bullying them, it's where do they go from there, right? And it's not easy to bully a team like Hannah Sabori.
Well, hasn't that always been the case to some degree with Roxy Anika, that she only played one style?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think the big issue with that team is who's going to be the alpha. And I think personally it's got to be Nicolescu.
Yeah.
Gabby Nicolescu's got to be the alpha, and Anika's got to be willing to be the support in that team. And she's never done that before.
Right.
So, I mean, you have to respect people who could make that transition.
And I think it's a fair point. Because what that team needs is just a little more balance and situational balance. Because when they come up against other teams, they just hit hard rollers, banging it there, and they literally bully them around the court. And then, when they come against the teams that can handle that, sometimes they're just putting themselves into worse situations, not better ones.
Great point here. A lot of great volleying. A couple of brilliant ones from Jacqueline Williamson.
Wow, that's a great drive. I mean, she gets down, but it's right at her shoelaces.
Great blitz there. Boy, they're really committed to the Shea blitz on the Sutter forehand.
Shea Sutter.
I think that's a great strategy for them, finding some more offense. As we expected, Bradford, it's back and forth here. So Shea Sutter got out to a lead, and Gio Williamson catch him, and now it's back to Shea Sutter again. Okay, so it's like Amy Shea to serve. 4-3, first set. Winner likely to find themselves opposite. Hanish Zabori.
Now, do you think that's a team outfit they have going on here today? Because they're both wearing the gray and the black. It's a coincidence.
I'm going with coincidence.
All right. I think there is something to putting a team outfit on. It gives you that certain level of commitment. I was honestly never that person who thought about it that much.
I was going to say, have you ever had a
Right.
team outfit, Bradford?
I mean, Mark, I'm pretty much wearing the same thing you are right now. So I feel like we're simpatico here.
Well, people have been mistaking us all day, Brad.
All day long.
You can't be too happy about that, though.
No, that's actually really disappointing.
I do remember one year you went to charities with 2 different paddles, and your partner was
I
not
playing.
overly thrilled
he
with
was.
that.
Yes. But I think I knew I had 2 different paddles.
And you probably did it to bother your partner anyway. Well, that's a weak error there from
15 all.
Yeah, they haven't
Jesquillo.
quite hit their strides yet. There have been spots of good play and then a few mental errors.
And when you don't have the Nicolescu forehand or the Anika forehand, you
15.
can't afford to make those errors.
That was wide, I think. Yeah.
Okay, serve called out,
30
confirmed
all.
by chair umpire Woodruff.
Yeah,
30 all.
Look wide from our angle. All right, it's a big return. I love how Williamson sets up way in that corner, showing her nothing but a backhand.
Good deep serve from Shea. Great lob. Oh, what a ball.
Oh, great track down there from Sutter.
Just kind of moving in that direction.
That was right on the line. Heck of a drive.
Smart play going behind Williamson.
Oh,
Oh,
this is
another great lob. Some point.
fantastic transition play. And so we got Sutter and Shea in the opposite corners now in the backcourt. See if they switch back. They look plenty comfortable.
They look plenty comfortable.
They do.
Couldn't see them.
Yes. Great backhand there
40-30.
from Shea. She's starting to wind up with that high lob. Looking good.
Okay, point for 5-3. 8 points for 4-2 and couldn't convert. Let's see if they can change things up here. Another fault from Amy Shea. Great blitz from Gio.
Advantage Gio.
So it's break point for Gio Williamson.
Oh. Tattoos it.
Deuce.
You like the decision?
No, she didn't look balanced or moving into it. She tried to quick drive her and put it into a tough spot. So I don't think she likes the decision either. Clearly not the result. All right,
So
so
that's
it's deuce.
4-3 deuce.
4-3 deuce, yes.
Going to the I formation on the Shea serve here. So had a backhand to swing at there. Shea was a little bit off the net, but she misses.
That's
Nope.
her shot.
Another point for 5-3.
Good lobs there from Gio, moving the opponents around, but Shea Shane Sutter right to ship. That's a great overhead.
Great
my
get on the nick
God.
from Williamson.
Just catches the outside of the line with that tremendous get.
Strange miss there from Amy Shea.
Yeah. See how she missed that, though, but
Deuce.
that's surprising. Didn't look like it was that tough an overhead.
No. Normally rock solid Amy Shea.
Whatever it is, she's getting rid of some. I think it's tape, actually, she might have taken off.
That's probably why she missed it.
Maybe.
With these long deuce-ad games, the longer they go, the more importance they take on. A third fault of the game.
Advantage Gio.
Another great lob from Gio.
Yeah, she does a really good job taking the lob early. Off the bounce, stepping forward into the court, and stealing time for her opponents right on the line.
We've seen like 4 or 5 lobs on the line or the outside of the line.
That's right in the crease. Nice get from Williamson.
That's the bailout spot.
Oh, good hands there from Sutter.
Is out.
Oh,
Ball was out.
I mean, they've been transition lobbing right back on that baseline, one after another. That one finally goes out. I was kind of waiting for one to go out all this time. We kind of lose on the bottom of our screen a little. And just some great transition play.
Obviously very close.
Oh,
Shea staying back and then misses the forehand.
yeah, it was an easy floater. I think
Advantage
she
Gio.
kind of was waiting to see if Williamson was coming in and sort of lost her focus on the shot because there was no pressure. Nobody was up there. Just netted it. Right at the crease. Great cover from Williamson.
It's an example of what you should be doing and the ball's going to your partner.
Yep, you're absolutely right. So many people, the ball goes into their partner's
watch.
screen and they just stand and look at them as opposed to looking to see if it's going at the crease. There you go, Gio looking over to cover it. These guys are top players. If you want to be a top player, you have to know how to cover those corners and play those balls that are going at the crease.
A great lob from Gio down the line.
I would not mind seeing these guys play a drop shot here or there. Everything's sort of hardened in there. I love how they're going at the crease. They're really making Gio and Williamson scramble here. But they're doing a great job with the defense.
We found the Sutter backhand volley several times. Look where she is there hitting that overhead.
Yeah, lobs are much better. Overheads too.
Good battle.
Yeah, that's the shot that Shea used a couple of balls ago where she's got to sling the ball in there. The Williamson forehand, she's 90% of the time Williamson is set up for the backhand drive.
There was a ball there that Shea had that she could hit the drop shot you were looking for on.
I would like to see it. That's too good, though. That one was not a good drop,
Game,
the
Gio
unfortunate
Williamson.
problem.
Games are 4-all in the first.
And the difference in that ball compared to the other was when Gio hit her ball to her to drop, she was already moving forward. And that's just a great break there from Gio Williamson. I mean, they were a few points away, down 5-3 almost. In fact, it was up there a little bit. It's 5-3, but it's 4-all here in the first set. And these guys, it's almost exactly as we sort of scripted it out, Mark. These guys battle back and forth, grinding.
And right now it's Gio Williamson who are winning the big points.
Yeah, I would say that Shea and Sutter have had more opportunities, But Gio and Williamson have come to, like, that point was great. I mean, I would say even Shea and Sutter hit some great overheads there into the crease, but Gio Williamson really dug deep and pulled that point out.
Great volley there from Williamson behind Amy Shea.
Yeah, it was a good read. Shea was counting on a return at Williamson's feet, so she makes the blitz, but the ball is up high, and Williamson sticks it behind her. Sutter's from Darien, Connecticut. She played her tennis at
30 love.
UPenn, I believe.
You didn't mention Cosgrove Parks, famous for playing at Villanova.
Villanova.
I think Cosgrove used plastic on his tennis racket, too?
Not as far as I know. The legend doesn't extend that far.
Oh, another great lob from Gio. Takes it off the deck.
It's going to be a miss. Great play. They're really stepping up a
40
little gear here for Gio Williamson when the moment matters.
And Jess Gio does that as well as anybody in the women's game, where she'll take that block lob early in the court, steal time from her opponents before they can get set. And you saw it there. That was a perfect example.
Yeah, she's done it a bunch of times. I mean, I think there's been 10 or 12 lob overs. I mean, it's a lot, a fair amount. You know, for both teams, actually, but some really pinpoint early lobbing. And that's actually a great lesson for a lot of people as you climb up the ladder. It's when do you block? If you can step in and steal time with a block lob, it actually speeds the play up. Sometimes you want to let it go to screen on purpose to slow it back down again.
That's smart,
Oh,
Bill.
she pulled it wide.
They were both back.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point that I think it's super helpful if in that situation Williams just says they're both back.
Yep.
Because Gio tried to just pull that ball and make too good a drive. All she had to do is hit it in the middle of the court, right? And if Williamson, but you can't see your opponents when you're up there hitting that screen drive because you're looking back at the ball. So if she lets you know, then you can just push it into the middle of the court. Doesn't have to make an error there.
Jess Gio, there's never a lot of doubt what's going on.
You mean she wears her emotions on her sleeve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She misses that one, and you heard the anguished cry.
This would be a great steal for Shea and Sutter being down love 40. And then got a couple little errors there. So a little glitch here from Gio Williamson. They want to close this out. I think this will be the first time in the match they've been ahead. If they can take this game out. And started down 3-1 early. Climbed back to 3-all, then down 4-3. Now have a chance to go up 5-4 for the first time in the match. You can see the teams just grind. That's a great lob from Sutter. Oh!
Game, Gio Williamson. They lead 5-4, first set.
Gio Williamson, as you said, Brad, first time in the match are ahead.
Yeah, it's been great, and I feel like it's kind of what we were saying. They sort of just played these big moments, you know, a little bit better, and they kind of upped their level just a little bit. It wasn't a bad look in that point there, but Sutter just misses the drive there at the end.
She Sutter haven't held serve in a while.
Yeah, it's been a tricky hold for them. You know, Williamson's pouncing on the returns, and Gio's just doing a decent job mixing it up. She's probably only hit 50% of the returns, but when she lobs, like we were talking about, she takes it early, and she pushes it up quickly, so the lob moves fast up and over their opponents and gets them out of position, and I think she's lobbed it over 4 or 5 times.
Okay, so in a turnabout, Jolene Sutter will serve to stay in the first set.
And as you said, Mark, they haven't held serve in the last few times. I mean, they got up a break at 4-3, had game point, actually, to go to 5-3 a couple of times. Couldn't quite close it out.
What do you want to do, Brad?
I don't know. I don't think she was asking you, Mark.
Oh,
Amy was asking Jolene what she wanted to do on the service strategy here. And they're going to go with an I formation. Australian, old school. Let's see if Sutter comes in or stays back. She's going to serve and volley. So your standard I, that's Ooh, good ball there. Right into the middle of the back
love.
wire hard, and it gets scraping off that side wire.
See, they're pushing Amy Shea back behind the service line. Another great
Oh
lob.
my goodness. Just
Gio.
really lobbing well now. Look at the crease. Good block there from Shea. Another one. She's going for it. Trying to find those spots.
A little right, left, right.
Yep.
Does that count as a Detroit left?
A Detroit left. That's right. When you're slinging, when you have to go right to go left here in the Michigan area, that is a Detroit left for sure. She went right just to go left. And I wasn't aware until this time around here. We were here last year. I didn't know that the Detroit left was a thing.
This is a great point right
Michigan
here.
left. Oh!
Catches the let cord.
And she pinpoints that drive again. But you got to sit on that line with Amy Shea, and Gio's got to go in there a little bit. You want to make Shea hit it
30
around you to the outside of the court. She slings it back inside the court as good as anyone.
Amy Shea is so smart at finding that weak spot, that right hip on the right-handers.
Yeah, but her outside in forehand is better than her inside out forehand. You got to make her hit it to the other side. Ooh, back of the line.
Let cord in the line.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of an awkward volley there. So just got to get down a little and have the paddle up. But, I mean, they set that up nicely. They had them both off the net.
40 love.
Had a good-looking drive. She goes for the down the line, which is the high part of the net, and has set her way back. Now, she would have had Shea reach in there, so it's tough.
And Gio really believes in that forehand. She will hit it all day long. Really impressive to have changed her grip and her whole swing pattern.
Yep. Finally
Game,
misses a
Shea
lob out
Sutter.
there.
Games are 5-all in the first set.
Well, it's like we talked about. This thing's going the distance here, Mark. I mean, this set alone. What did we say the over-under?
245.
245.
You're
You're
the
taking
under.
the over, and I'm taking the
Yeah,
under.
I couldn't quite understand that.
Not sure I'm loving my bet right now.
Let you sell out for 60%.
Yeah, you're going to give me an out. Thank you. I'm going to consider. When do I have to make the decision by?
Now.
All right, I'm going to stay with mine then. Stay with the under.
Love.
Great lob from Shea.
Yeah, there have been so many good lobs.
Gio misses that one.
15 all.
See both Shea and Gio lobbing down the line a lot. Trying to set up their partners.
Good high lobs there from Sutter. And it's interesting because she keeps that Eastern forehand kind of grip even when she lobs in there.
30-15.
I don't see her change it a little bit more often. All right, so
Jessica Guillot serving 5-all, 30-15.
oh, come on. I can't quite get it.
40-15.
Really, really good drive down at Guillot's feet, and just tremendous volley back.
I like Sutter's. Come on, you got it. No, I don't.
But good to be a
Confident.
supportive partner. Yeah, I'm not sure she was confident. I think she was being supportive. I'm going to go with
Hopeful.
supportive.
Hopeful.
Yeah, hopeful might be the word, yeah. All right.
Nope.
No. Deuce. I think Sutter made a little feint.
Yeah, she definitely bothered her there. I agree.
And she pushed it a little wide. I think she saw it out of the corner of her eye. Good move there from Sutter.
Whoa. That volley was not in by a lot.
No, in fact, from my angle, I was waiting for the out call.
Amy Shea just lobs down the line so well. Look at that lob.
So high. So high. She's actually, the use of the low lobs become a little more in vogue in certain places, but she's a high lobber. That's a great deep overhead right at Shea's body. Can't get out of the way.
Advantage Guillot.
Gets beat by that hard one. It's a better volley.
Yeah. Return was a little easier to handle. Nice cover from Williamson. You know, it's interesting, Mark, when you think about it, actually, the other quarterfinal that was live streamed there, it's already over. You know, and we got 3:30 coming on with some men's action after this. I'm feeling like this match is, you're right. This thing's going the distance here.
These teams just
play
play such
3 hours. Yep.
long matches together. We do have a score. Hannah Saborier through to the semis with a 6-1, 6-4 win over Cran and Herschel.
Yeah, Cran and Herschel are a fun team to watch. They bring some heat, and they're a lot of fun to just watch. They're spunky.
So that just leaves the Anika Nicolescu match. We haven't gotten that score yet. Great get from Shea.
Oh, wow. Great volleys. I mean, that was a heck of a shot from Shea. Completely surprising.
And then you saw both Guillot Williamson really close the net hard.
Did a good job. Forced her to hit into a little wall there, and she couldn't penetrate. See, I love that overhead that they're starting to use now. A hard, deep at Shea. Make her run, dump a few. When you get a ball that's average, hard, deep at her. Make her chase up the wire. That's a great lob. These guys are just working this point.
Huge point, and all four women know it. There's the hard overhead again.
There's the high lob again. Just That's a great lob. Yep, we're at 3 minutes, our producer tells us. Patrick, thanks for that intel. Oh, and that's a way to win it right there. When in doubt, go for the leg cord.
I don't know why she didn't do it earlier.
I don't know why she didn't do it early either, Mark.
Why would wait for the 3-minute mark? 180 seconds, just 10 seconds.
That's just a great point, though. Those guys are just battling back and forth. A bunch of really good high, deep lobs, getting them out of position. Making Gio Williamson close back in, then finally gets it with the leg cord. That's just a beautiful point, though.
The double let cord winner. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Twice as good with the double let cord winner. You should get 2 points for that. But game point now for Gio Williamson. Some really entertaining stuff here. Because it's kind of all in the balance here. Every point is extremely important here as we close to the end of the set. You know, sometimes I think, oh, that's a great overhead look, that Sutter and Shea, when they hit these good lobs up, they got to throw occasional blitz in.
Out.
All right, called wide, and again,
Deuce.
they're asking the umpire for the overrule, and he confirms the call, so back to deuce. I think Sutter and Shea can increase their positioning on the baseline for a little earlier drives, or even throwing a blitz once in a while. They're hitting these great high, deep lobs. And they are hitting, following up with drive. Look at all these let cords. Wow. And they are following it up with some drives, but not early high-pressure drives. That's the big issue. And a good job from Gio Williamson to sort of blunt that by getting the overheads deep enough and soft enough. There's a good blitz behind. That's a great lob.
Wow, that's a really surprising miss there from Gio.
They lead 6-5 in the first set.
I mean, this has been the story of the match. Just all a back and forth affair. Early going went to Shea and Sutter. Right at the ship, they took their first lead, Gio Williamson, up 5-4, and now we're breaking it down.
And Shea Sutter up 6-5 now.
Yeah, so the score is backwards there. You got our producer to switch that around. So Shea Sutter up 6-5.
It has been the epitome of a back and forth first set.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, if any indication of the previous games, we're heading for a breaker here, Mark.
And the way these two teams compete against each other, you know, normally you think this set is more important to this team or that team. Not in this case.
Not, I would say no, absolutely not. Yeah. The thing that matters here is execution and choices. And I don't see any bad choices. Just some moments of execution. There's never any, not too many head scratcher moments or anything of the sort.
The error to end the last game was a bit of a head scratcher from Jess Gio.
The error itself, but I mean, she was simply trying to lob it. She wasn't trying to do anything difficult. I mean, it's just shocking the error was made. I agree.
But not a bad decision.
But it wasn't a bad choice or anything like that, or you know, she wasn't in her own head. She just missed the ball. And actually, that's where they kind of made their comeback, was being tough in those tough points.
On that 3-minute point. So here's Amy Shea to serve for the first set, 6-5.
And that positioning you watch there from, you know, from Sutter. I was going to say she's way to the middle, and then she moves to the left. You know, good play from Williamson. Sometimes when your opponents do different things, you tend to want to think about it and change your play. Williamson just shoved the return right up the middle hard. Didn't worry about what Shea and Sutter were doing.
We saw Shea struggle with the serve a little bit last game. Faulted, I think, 3 times. In the game she served at 4-3.
Hard overhead. Now you got to bail or you got to get close, one or the other. You get halfway, that's the worst of all things.
And that's exactly where she was, on the service line.
Yep.
Okay, so it's 6-5, love 30. Another example of Guillot taking the ball early. Look at that lob. Pushing Sutter way back.
Yeah, there's been some really good lobs. Ooh.
Pickup from Williamson.
Oh! I mean, that's her ball. She's not really moving into it,
15-30.
but she did have Shea off the net.
Yeah, I like the decision, just not the execution.
She's generally been making. I don't think she's missed too many backhands.
No.
That might be the first one that I remember.
15-30.
That's a good cutoff there. And Guillot did not want to spot the return high there
30 all.
for an easy volley. Nice cutoff there from.
But that's your job when
Sutter.
you're at the net, and Sutter did a terrific one there of cutting the ball off, helping her partner. I mean, that first volley, toughest shot in the game by far.
Yeah, no question. Here they go with the very aggressive positioning. She's angled towards the returner, Sutter there at the net, and she's going to stay back. Oh,
What a lob.
great shot.
That takes us to set point.
40.
Great
30.
shot from Jolene Sutter.
I like how they're approaching this game, though. A lot of different formations, trying to make Guillot Williamson think about it a little. I'm not good at lip reading here, Mark. You getting that? What
I'm
are they
going to
doing here?
serve to the tee and stay.
Okay. I mean, let's find out. Oh! That definitely wasn't the conversation.
You can see where Shea gets a little tight on that serve. The big moments, it gets a little shaky. Conversation should have been just get it in the box.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with hearing that from my partners.
Oh, what another great lob and great recognition. She has Sutter cutting the ball off, and Williamson recognizes it, goes right up over Sutter because she's on top of the net. Good movement.
Great volleys there.
And
They weren't exactly in position A either. They're both off the net a little bit.
but Williamson did great there. She wasn't in position as she was hitting it, but she moved to fill that space in right away.
Oh, great transition play from Guillot.
This should be a look for a drive. Nope, nothing there. See, that's the one I kind of want to see him be stepping up on. I'm not sure if she should take it or not there, but be ready.
Oh, wild backhand from Sutter. That takes us to
Break
point. So advantage, Guillot Williamson.
So are you shocked to see this as a back and forth game here?
Shocked.
Set point, shocked. All right. This is actually great stuff. A lot of points in the balance. Ooh. Right at Sutter there. Good job keeping her hands in front.
Like the return.
Yeah, go after it.
Another bad overhead, and they get away with it.
Yeah.
Got to be careful with those hard overheads off the back wire.
I mean, straight off the back wire. It's kind of a layup. Oh!
Had her off the net, but fails to execute. We're back to deuce. Did I mention that the 245 was for the first set, Brad?
Well, if that's the case, then I'm actually winning this one. Oh, nice hands there from Sutter.
Great volley. Discretion being the better part of valor. I'm not sure she should have been there to make the volley, but
Yeah, you might be right.
able to pull it off.
I mean, if you have confidence in shots, I mean, one of your good friends, Juan Arai, would be standing there probably half the time.
Whoa!
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, Juan Araya breaks into the booth.
clearly starting to see the strategy from Gio Williamson, trying to hit a lot of hard, deep overheads at them.
No, I think it's a good play. I actually don't mind it at all. You know, the problem is they're really just lobbing pretty well. You know, Shea and Sutter lobbing well enough. But they're doing a good job of it. Look at that net position, building a wall up there. They've done that pretty well. So even when Sutter and Shea are taking their strikes, they're back in position and getting right back there.
They've really negated the driving.
But this is sort of like almost the difference between, say, you want to take a, like, you know, when the ball comes off as a Zabori paddle, it's like a thunderbolt, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can build your wall, but she's hitting like something that breaks walls. It's like an armor-piercing bullet, right? You know, whereas right now these guys are hitting great drives, but it's just that slight difference in the heaviness and the weight of that ball.
Yep, and it's what we talked about earlier. They don't have the big weapons.
Right.
They have weapons, and there it is.
There it is. Oh, my goodness.
Game, Shea Sutter.
Game in first set, Shea Sutter.
First set 7-5.
I mean, it was so surprising to actually see it. I was expecting the back and forth, but what a great set. They battled it back and forth. So, Mark, why don't we talk to us real quickly about one of our sponsors, actually.
Yeah.
Remedy Plus. Had a bar earlier today. It's great stuff.
2023 APTA Tour is brought to you by Remedy Plus. When you need the extra boost in the paddle shot, paddle court, grab a great tasting, body fueling Remedy Plus bar or Remedy Plus shot. Fuel your body right with Remedy Plus.
All right, Mark, we'll be right back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by eNet Live.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.
70 minutes to go. 70 minutes gone.
Welcome back to the APTA Tour presented by Remedy Plus. We are in women's quarterfinal match between 3 seeds of Shea and Sutter against Gio and Williamson. And what a back and forth affair there in that first set.
Yeah, I mean, just two teams that are very evenly matched. Neither team has a lot of weapons. They just battled. There was a fault here or a let cord there that made the difference.
Yeah, a couple of just a little errors down the stretch. It was really like we talked about. I mean, it just came down to a few execution errors and a surprising miss, say on that one game where Gio Williamson trying to take the lead 6-5 and just misses a lob, and that was it. You know, they had opportunities in that game there too. Gio Williamson did a really good job closing off the net at various times. Both teams, I think, played to their strengths. I expect more of the same in the second set. And like you said, it doesn't matter who won this first set. They're going to keep battling. Whoever executes better will take this match home.
Yeah, it just came down to a point here, point there.
Yeah. I mean, either way, one of these teams is going up, and they're going to have a battle ahead, you know, in the semifinals. So they got one more match ahead of them here. So they are playing for that, the honor to play against Hanish Sabori.
Yep, a lot of points at stake here. Seedings for nationals is starting to become a factor. This is one of the highest-rated tournaments of the season.
Yeah, it's been a terrific draw. You know, did we get a score on Sakura and Morgan?
We have not gotten a score, but Juan Araya promised me he'd get us one.
And what are Juan Araya's promises worth?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. There you go.
Okay, so it sounds like we're streaming. I think they moved that match to court 2. So Maybe we can get a sneak peek of that.
That would be great.
Oh, that's, which one is Gabby Nicolescu?
So we got a little Hagman Murphy up there. That's a great, really solid team. They had a good run at Nationals last year. Lost to the champions. So now we're back on with Williamson and Gio starting it off, and that's Jacqueline Williamson to start the set. Shea Sutter took the first, 7-5.
Okay, so Araya actually came through, Brad. We were wrong saying his promises were worth nothing. And we find out that Nick and Nicolescu are through into the semifinals. Not a surprise.
Nope.
15 love.
And Morgan Sikora are always right there. They just haven't had the breakthrough win yet against the top team, one of the top teams.
Yeah, last year they were 4-all, 40 love in the third set against Delmonico Gebby at Nationals and ended up losing 6-4.
Yeah.
Charlotte Sikora is so talented athletically. I don't think she's quite figured it out yet. Great lob there from Sutter.
15-30.
We got another
Nice
great visitor
visit
in here from
Jared Palmer,
Getting ready.
three-time national champion.
They had a stretching guy in here, Jared, before. You could have got stretched out before your.
15-40.
Oh, they're gone. Good luck.
The stretching company disappeared on Jared. That's going to be a fun quarterfinal match.
Yeah, that'll be a great match. Durant Mitchell against Palmer and Chervinsky. I'm sure we're going to live stream that, and it'll be after this match, actually.
I mean, you're talking about two of the great players who've ever played the game.
Yep.
Second set.
8 national championships between the two of them. I mean, I think that Johan Durant is the greatest player who's ever stepped on the paddle court.
Yeah, and absolutely. I won't disagree.
Okay, first game to Shea Sutter. They lead 1-love. A little bit of a sloppy start there from Gio Williamson. Do you think Shea Sutter heard the 2-hour 45 minutes and they're trying to make you a winner, Bradford?
Under? Amy's a good friend. I appreciate that.
Second set starts much like the first did. We'll see if it ends the same way. Just a little bit of a slow start from Gio Williamson.
It's got to be a little deflating, losing that first set the way they did, because they made all that battle to get back up 5-4, right? And then they just lose the last 3 games. But it wasn't like they weren't in those last 3 games. They were right there.
Big goal from the French. Yeah, the whole issue of deflating is interesting because, athletes, the best athletes just compete.
Right.
Every single point. You win, you lose. I mean, Nadal being the best example in the world to me. Doesn't matter what happens, he just plays the next point hard.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. But there is also, there is ebb and flow and things that go on out there.
No question. There's always ebb and flow.
And if you're out there, actually, you can actually use the same kind of thought process here. Nadal's an all-time great tennis player, obviously, and his ability to compete all the time, every time, is certainly one of the things that has made him that way. If you look at things on the women's tour, one of the people I always am astounded by is, Florentina Hanisch. No matter what's happening, she's bouncing, she's always giving a high five, she's always positive in her thought process. You never see anything other than her competing all the time.
That's because she never knows what the score is.
Yeah, makes it easier.
Can't get nervous, can't get down, you don't know the score. Great volley there from Amy Shea.
Yeah,
40-love.
Forehand push volley to the side. What a shot.
And that's 7 points in a row we've seen from Shea Sutter since they lost the first point of the set. So it's 1-love, love 40 here. 1-love, 40-love for Shea Sutter. This is exactly the way the match started.
I got my good friend Mike Fisher chiming in that no one competed harder than Jimmy Connors. I mean, he certainly was one up there too as well. I mean, all those guys. It was a different era of competition back then. You know, using the crowd, the whole works.
Great ball there. The thing that sets Nadal aside for me with everybody else is just he played in a vacuum. He got a bad call. He got a terrible break. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
He just the next point he played as hard as he could play, regardless of what happened.
Yeah, it's certainly a lesson to be learned for anyone.
And it sounds like such a simple thing, but it's anything but.
I mean, it's not easy having human emotions and controlling them. It's not simple.
Oh, great exchange. Gio misses that.
Game Shea Sutter, they lead 2 games to love.
Love, just like the first set.
Quick start off.
Well, to your point, isn't that the reason we don't have too many young paddle players? That you don't see too many 20-something paddle players?
When's the last time somebody 25 won a, you know, maybe back in Dave Ohlmuller?
Yeah, maybe Dave Ohlmuller, right.
You know, when he was almost a teenager probably. But you're right. It takes time to develop that some sort of competitive instinct. And it also takes time to develop the ability to choose the right shots, to not try to overpower the game, but to understand what shots to play. You know, platform is definitely that type of game.
I remember playing an early tournament with Anton Maverin, who hit a forehand winner, and I got the big fist pump from him. And I was like, slow down, big guy. We need about 50 more of those.
Right, exactly. Actually, I have a similar story, but yeah.
This is a big moment in the match for Gio Williamson.
Yeah, they got to piece it together. Gio sort of lost a little focus
thread,
or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Love
I'm
15.
amazed she got cold too. She put a jacket on. I mean, like, she's working hard out there.
You have to wonder if, you know, some of the sharpness in her game isn't there, having not played that much with the injury.
Yeah, I mean, certainly.
Oh, what a volley from Williamson.
Some good solid shots there, but you know, right now
Love 30.
it's a little bit of a danger zone here for.
Yeah, they're getting rolled right now.
Right.
They want to point this set after the first one. Boy, really looks like Gio's lost the thread here. Just litany of errors.
Yeah, it's just, I think it might be time for Williams to just take a moment, take her aside, try to pump her up a little bit.
Great stab volley from Sutter.
Oh, well, that'll help.
15-40.
It's a tough drive there from Shea. Oh, wow.
Big return from Sutter, and it's 3-love.
Game Shea Sutter, they lead 3 games to love in the second set. They won the first set 7 games to 5.
You
Gonna take a little moment. Jacket's coming off. That's a good sign. I mean, it definitely looks to me, Mark, like there's some sort of energy concentration dip here.
100%.
I'm not sure. I mean, at this point, if you're Gio Williamson, you know, it's really just a reset. Kind of like forget about those 3 games. You know, it's good, great playing from Shea and Sutter. They just kind of kept about their business, but definitely a different level of energy there from Gio Williamson.
No question. And whether that was a dip in concentration because of the loss of the first set or just hadn't been playing enough, hard to tell.
Yeah. But for them, the set, you know, starts now, and they just made it harder. That's all. They just got to play that much more tight.
They need to win 6 games to win the set.
Yep.
Plenty of games left.
Dinkin blitz from Williamson surprises Shea.
Love 15.
A little off the net. She let that ball crowd her a little too. Nice sneaky maneuver.
The old shank forehand lob dipping shot.
And it worked well. She forces
Brilliantly.
the short volley, gets the blitz behind it, and that's got to do a little bit to pump Gio up a little bit.
I don't want to say this is a must game, but it's close.
You know, and Gio's definitely a player that I've seen. She rides in some rhythms. Like I've seen her play absolutely lights out where she hasn't missed a ball, right? But then I see these moments where it just goes a little bit of ride. There's not a huge margin for it.
And that was just an absolute donation, that one.
Sure.
And Shea donates back.
15-40.
We're dinking.
Yep.
With no blitzing that time, though.
Well, that's a good little fake, though. I didn't mind it. I don't think it was quite a good enough ball to blitz on. So it's probably a wise choice to stay back. She get caught up there. She didn't make a move forward. She sort of feinted to the middle, and then, yeah, she's.
Well, you know exactly what's going on with Jessica Gio. 30-40. Oh, she's like left the building.
Yeah, a little bit.
Deuce.
Wow.
I mean, this is a game that had multiple break points. He gifted all 3 of those points.
She's made 3 terrible errors this game. Wow.
They gotta pick each other up here a little bit.
This one's really going to hurt if they don't win this game.
Williamson staying with some positive body language. Oh, boy.
Game Shea Sutter, they lead 4 games.
Your under is looking much better all of a sudden,
looking
Bradford.
Significantly better. And, yeah, Gio's got to take a moment. She's back there. She's admonishing herself, but it's a walkabout right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
that's
left
a
the building.
4-game walkabout.
She made 4 errors that game, all of them complete donations. I mean, that last return was wide by 3 boards. It wasn't like she even really tagged it.
You know, it is, as you say, not so simple coming back from, you know, an injury and not having a ton of time on court. It's not just the physical energy, it's also the mental energy.
Yep, no question.
You're not used to using it as much. Oh, Williamson closes it off, but it must have gone long.
Love 15.
Yep. Dave Woodford confirms that. Umpire in the chair.
That'll help the cause.
15 all.
That's a good little drop. Nice try there from Shea, but nice touch.
30-15.
That's part of what you talked about earlier is just test out Amy Shea a little bit more. Make her move.
Make
Hard
her run.
overheads, drop shots.
You can't lay it in there to Amy by any means, you know, but making her move. The hard overhead, the body's been good. So that's good. Williams has got to be on the line there. They got to shift over a
30
little.
all.
It's a great spot though from Sutter. That's a great lob. All right, so
30-40.
point here for 5, Love, for Shea and Sutter.
Wow.
Game
Remedy
3,
Plus.
Sunday lead.
22-23 APTA
Second
Tours
set.
brought to you
They
by
won the
Remedy
first set,
Plus.
7-5.
Raise your paddle game to a whole new level with clean, natural, great tasting protein bars and energy shots by Remedy Plus. High performance has never tasted this good.
Yeah, I was asking you before, have you tried the Remedy bar?
I have not had the opportunity yet, Brad.
Very good. Very, very tasty.
I
and,
think that Gia Williamson need
I was
several
about to say they need
several
a few
energy
remedies.
bars.
They need a
need
few
some
remedy
remedies.
bars here. Big time. Maybe a case full at this point. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's something miraculous is going to happen. A complete implosion, I think, from Shea and Sutter combined with just Gio and Williamson just riding the ship. And you could see, you know, Williamson dropped there too. I think she just couldn't keep her focus up, you know, like long enough. It sort of pulled them both down at the end, by the end there.
Yeah. Gio really struggling. And she's such a great athlete and such a great competitor. It's just she's not the one you'd have expected to see this from. But again, you're coming back from an injury. Takes time.
I think she's got to, you know, when it's all said and done, if they do in fact lose this match, which is highly probable, you know, take the set that you competed hard for, build on that, and then kind of go from there. It's sort of like a pitcher pitching 3 innings on his first way back, right?
Yep.
You can't do a whole game, but
So you're suggesting that somebody should have subbed in for her after the first 3 games?
I've been suggesting that for years, even when I was playing. Look, if I raise my hand up, I want to sub
Come
in
get
a tag
me.
team.
Come get me.
Sub me in. And I don't know why the rules never changed in my favor that way.
Inexplicable.
I understand it. Good positioning there. Nice, read it right on the line. Smart. Right at the crease. Good ball. Nice cover there from Sutter. You know, and these are the weird danger spots. Not that there's been any danger for Sutter and Shea, though, but the only way they can lose this is if they implode. So they got to maintain their concentration. They have to, you know, keep plugging away, doing what they did to win it, because as soon as you crack a little, possibility of a dam bursting.
100%. Momentum changes in the sport faster than any sport I've ever seen. It's amazing how easy it looks when it's going well and how hard it looks when it's going poorly.
Yep. Oh, that's a great lob. A little miscommunication, but another terrific lob.
30-15.
2 points from the match.
Well, given that, I'm likely to win the 245 bet here, Mark. Oh, man, I'm trying to figure out how I'll accept payment.
Likely? Likely?
Highly likely.
Jeez, I'm trying to get away from this equivocation with you, Bradford.
Never happened. But I'll accept Venmo. That's fine.
Bitcoin, okay?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, give me FTX. Some FTX stock. All right, this is a good point here from Gio Williamson, though. They're hanging tough. That net in there.
Jacqueline Williamson has really volleyed well with dangerous overhead there.
That's a great lob again. He's lobbing so well.
But the problem started with the volley.
Yeah.
Williamson kind of cut across and put herself out of position. Great scramble.
Yeah, this is a great point, and this is a point we saw a bunch of times in that first set when all the players were working on, so at least he's getting a piece of it back here.
Again, you see Williamson kind of trailing the play, looking for the nick.
All.
Long conversation here,
Yeah.
Sutter and Say.
Yeah, I think they just want to close it out now. They want to put their best foot forward here.
This is abnormally long.
Yeah. Starting to feel like they got, they didn't want me to win my bet. All right, good positioning. You see that aggressive positioning a number of times from Shea and Sutter today where they put that player well off the line towards the middle of the court. I haven't seen them when they do that. They do move to the left and to the right, so it's hard to know where they're going to end up. It's a good play. It makes the opponent think about it.
Anything you can do to make your opponent think about their return rather than hit it is a good thing.
Ooh. Nice. Good scoot. Oh.
Great hands. Amy Shea is just such a good hand-to-hand volleyer.
Yeah, it's like a different Gio all of a sudden. She's, you know, it's a couple of really good points.
It's wide and
Missed
takes us
that
to
one.
match point.
That was a good point, though.
40-30.
And there it is.
Game, set, match. Shea Sutter win the second set 6-love. Won the first set 7-5.
You know,
Thanks,
it was
ladies.
a great match
Well done.
in that first set, but it sort of
What's
ended there. 5-game donation to start the second. A couple of
Yeah,
promising
that's
points there at the end if they could have maybe snuck
Glad
out
they
a
let me
game
in the
there.
rain.
But too good. Shea and Sutter move on to the
We'll see if my
semifinals.
fellow
Any
umpires know.
thoughts about the Shea Sutter versus Hanish Sabori?
Well played.
You got to make Hanish Sabori big favorites. I mean, Hanish Sabori big favorites against everybody.
Yep.
And I don't know that Shea Sutter have the weapons to really compete with them.
Yeah, if they lob really well, we can take a quick look at the draw and
Need
see
a
where we're
rescue.
at. You know, it'll at least give them a starting point. But, you know, Zabori's got to be, you know, with that forehand, her ability to move the ball around and her attacking overheads, clearly, if you're going to do check boxes, it's in their favor.
I'm more interested in the other semi, Bradford. How do you see the Kiro Medeiros Anika Nicolescu match, because that's a lot of firepower, a lot of athleticism. That should be a dynamic match.
I think that's just a great back and forth affair with a ton of firepower. I mean, I watched
No,
Kiro.
he's a smaller one.
Actually, I think she hit Jacqueline Williamson last week once or twice. You know, huge forehands. Medeiros, the same kind of thing. Both players, all of them use heavy rollers, move the ball around the court quickly. I think it would come down to a few strategy considerations for both teams. To me, it's a pretty good chance at a pickup.
Yeah, I give Anika Nicolescu a slight edge. Just not sure Kiro's ready to play at that level yet, but she's going to be, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to be back at, very shortly, actually.
Next 10 minutes with the men's.
10 minutes or so, men's quarterfinal
Quarterfinal.
action. And what match are we going to see there, Mark?
I think we're going to see Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell.
So stay tuned for that one. That should be
Stravinsky and Palmer.
just an awesome match to see. 8 national championships on the court. 2 of the best players of all time. And we'll see you guys in 10 minutes, and we'll be back right here on the APTA Network, presented by
No, I'm
eNet
not
Live.
going anywhere. The bones that I have left, yeah, here it comes. Lordy, Steve's got it. He's coming. Well, here's Steve.
Done. Great job. Hey, good stuff to you. Patty, good job. Yeah, a lot of fun. You guys look great out there. How long have you been playing?
Who, me? Oh, I've been playing my whole life. How about you?
Wow, I only started playing when I retired.
Someone say retired?
Looking good out there, Eli.
Thank you.